you have to let that out. It's given to you. I mean, look, all this church stuff, it says worshiping God is using his gifts. Could it be said simpler?
No.
See, that's what I don't understand. They say they want simple, but you give them simple and go, oh, well, yeah, nothing's that simple, you know. Yeah. Yeah, actually, it is. You can be distracted for 1 second, and then not forget what you were doing. Now, how powerful is that? And that means you're just scattered. And that's what we have. We scatter ourselves. We belong to this, we belong to that, we do this, we do that, we have. But what about I am? How much time do you give to being aware of what you're thinking, feeling about? Because that is your world of experiencing. Is that not so?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, it is. You said something, I want to touch on it. You were talking about someone saying that you're not going to get followers that way. And you said, listen, what I'm looking for is teachers. And I know a few people that have taken the message that we talk about and they've put it in their own voice. And this is absolutely what we want them to do. We want them to discover their message. But so many people, they want to emulate, let's say Neville, for example, and they never go deeper than Neville's teaching because they don't apply it to themselves where it becomes their own voice. So when we're talking about teachers, we're talking about you taking this message and applying it to your life and making it your message.
Yeah, well, it is.
Absolutely.
Just accept it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all. He says, you turn to me, I'll turn to you. How come you can't accept that invitation?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an invitation from God. You turn to me, I'll turn. And it's you who has to turn first. See, God can't, because he gave you choose this day. You understand? So he can't interfere with your decision, because then you didn't get choose this day. Accept this or accept that. No, all of it. But you're on all the time. Do you know, Scripture points it out very plainly. You're praying ceaselessly, and you're told all prayer is answered. I know, I always get it. Oh, well, no, see, right there, I can tell you don't know what you're talking about. But I pray and pray and pray and pray and nothing. But that's what you were praying for. And you got plenty of it. Get more of it. As within, so without. Man is his own attitudes. And they're in here. Your attitudes are in here. And they got a special little place where negative attitudes abide. And you got another little place where positive attitudes abide. You know, like I said, people always say, can you simplify it a little bit? You know, and every one of them will say, well, that's not what I mean. We need it. But mean what? It's as you think, you do, you have, you be, and you're told, change your mind, change your world. Hey, that's you. This is first person present tense experiencing that others around see and them. No, without, that's all secondhand. You see, you're given to think for yourself. So that's new ideas if you're thinking for yourself. Because there's always something new to try out. I mean, you know, I've been listening to my old tapes,
mm-hmm.
you know, when I started. And I made a lot of mistakes, but the thing of it was, I had hit on the direct point of the whole message over and over and over. And you know, it really did pay off with some people because they got it. But most of them, you see, if you're struggling with it, you're still dreaming. What we're telling you to do, wake up to what you're saying, suggesting to yourself, because you're doing so. And if you're not enjoying life, well, I know what you're suggesting. See, that's the whole point. You say, well, who knows what I think? Who needs to know? You know. That's the only one that needs to know. It's as you think, what they think, what they're talking about. That's nothing. What are you talking to yourself? And some say, well, I don't talk to myself. Okay. How about thinking feelingly? Well, actually, that does cover it actually better, doesn't it? Because it talks about feeling. And feeling, that is the secret of it all, isn't it?
Yes.
As a man thinketh in his heart, that was a feeling nature, not the blood pump. We set ourselves up or we set ourselves free every time you sit and start thinking. So right away, if what you're starting to think about is a negative suggestion, why would you not stop and turn to think on things that are lovely and good report? It's the same power. Use positive or negative, and you're the one deciding which is which. So most people don't know anything. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's that double-mindedness. You must become single-minded. There's only God. That's the whole story. So how corrupted is your mind that you can't settle on something being all things to all? Because you're going to. Eventually, you will. See, that was a really big one in my life. What was I waiting for? And as a matter of fact, I never even brought up the question to myself. And that's how deceptive you are. I am. We all are. We're so deceptive. Well, but actually, that's because we're conditioned to the ongoing drama. And look, what the whole world's running on half deception, at least. I mean, you can just see what's going on in the world today. It's absolute insanity. And it appears to be that they're feeding it night and day, over and over, to the whole world. What? War? Why do we need war? Because people can't agree? Eventually, they all do. They all get together and say, hey, this is really getting expensive. This is getting, a lot of lives and all of that. I mean, it showed in Washington. They got the police out dragging men in to go in the military. I mean, pride of country, I don't know. Well, they just see it as insanity. That's it. Yeah. That possibility's always existed, but you draw it to you by fearing it. So just act the way they want you to act and believe it. It's what you're told. Believe it to make it so. Believe it. See, you have to believe. All these medicines and potions of this, that, and the other that are out on the shelves that's supposed to help people. Hey, there's not one bottle on the whole string of shelves can help you unless you are helping you. You have to say, yes, this is good. I believe in this. Great, works for you. But the next guy's saying, oh, what the hell? No. He doesn't believe it'll help him. It won't. It, yes, it is that simple. It is total.
Absolutely. I was just telling the guy on our site, he was saying about this stuff was a bunch of crock. I said, you're absolutely correct. For you, it's a bunch of crock. It's not going to work. Absolutely.
That's it. Why tell you that it's as you believe it is to you? Why tell you that? I mean, obviously not paying attention to it, because if you're whining and crying to God, that always kind of didn't sit with me. You're whining and crying to God. Oh yeah, you're a minister or priest, or they cry a lot today. That's fine. But if they tell you the truth, they tell you the same thing Jesus said. Everybody who comes before me, thieves and robbers, they just want my attention. And then I don't have my attention. And therefore then I'm losing out because I'm listening to you. State what you want and then shut up. God's not stupid. He can understand what you want if you can understand what you want. That's the problem. He doesn't need your help. He needs your permission. That's all he needs, your permission. I don't care if you're laying there bleeding all over the sidewalk. He needs your permission. I know that would become pretty hard to steady yourself at that time, but hey, it's been done. And it will continue to be done by those who believe. Look, if you say you believe it, then you're doing it. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, how can you say you believe that this is the right way to do it, but have a reason, excuse, or justification for not doing it?
Absolutely.
And I have plenty of justifications for everything. Who knows? I knew. And that's quite a hurdle for some people. Just the fact that you know what you've done, and so you're the one who's actually putting yourself down day in and day out by things you say, which are just like little idle words that doesn't really mean anything. But that is not the case. He tells you that even every idle word, and you say, well, I wasn't aware I was saying it. That's just the point. You're not aware, and you're dangerous to yourself. You're the biggest threat in your world if you're not paying attention. Boom. Just like that's how it happens, isn't it? Boom.
That's exactly how it happens.
Attitude awareness, imaginational control. You're told over and over that you're in control. Take control. Control of what you're thinking, feeling about, generally most of the time, because that sets your attitude. Doesn't that set their attitude? And if you think about it all day, you just rattle yourself that you can't think straight. I mean, people complaining they can't go to sleep. Well, all you have to do is shut up. What? That's it. That's it. All you have to do is shut up. In here too. And you can do so. See, they say, yeah, but these things really bug me. Well, then get rid of the bug. Yeah, 150-pound man, you can't get rid of a teeny little bug. Look, you're given choose this day. Start choosing wisely. That's all they're telling you in scripture is choose wisely. Because when you choose unwisely, you suffer the consequences. Is it that simple? Yep. It certainly is. And what a surprise when you find out where it was all along. right in front of you. Well, what you're doing is what you thought about. So if you look at what you're doing, then you'll know what you thought about. And you're always thinking ahead of your evidence. So if you change the evidence, well, then you change what you're doing. Hello? Look, you're in charge. Take charge. That's it. That's all we've been told. Not to, people say, oh, I was denied this, I was denied that. No. All denial is self-denial. Consequences, look, you're being born and you're conditioned to the ongoing drama around you. Mother, father, this is not blaming anybody. They're out of it too. They don't know what they're thinking either half the time. So
I had a half a dozen of Neville's tapes, and I listened to them at least one every night for years before it actually touched base. I began thinking differently. The importance of having a CD, because what has your focus has your life. Think about it. We're not asking you to join anything, but you have to have the CDs. You have to have the DVDs. You have to listen to them. It's you training this. Listen, listen, listen.
But as Mr. Lindell stated, you have to listen to them repeatedly. And again, for those who are interested, click the link below and it will take you to the 4 CD set, and you'll be able to transform not only your mind, but your world.